Today we're going to take a look at Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus. It has a 1,168 page count and the cover price of $125. Let's get into this omnibus review. Alrighty, so let's jump right into this omnibus. We get this great artwork on the cover here from Sarah Pichelli. I believe there's not even a DM variant for this cover. The new omnibus that'll be printed, I believe in August, will have this as the new DM variant cover. So this one here with him with the taxis is no longer gonna be a dust jacket cover, unfortunately. I do like this cover a lot, but looking at this wraparound cover here, amazing, man. When Miles finally confronts the Green Goblin in all his glory. Some people hate this big old Green Goblin, but I am kind of a fan. Norman Osborn and this big juice to the gills Green Goblin looks kind of awesome to me. I'm not gonna lie. So getting into the book here, you open it up, you get the table of contents. So this book collects Ultimate Comics Spider-Man 1 through 28 and 16.1, Spider-Man 1 through 5, Cataclysm, Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 3, Ultimate Spider-Man 200, Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 12, and material from Ultimate Fallout 4. Everybody's favorite book, always hot, Ultimate Fallout 4. I am a huge fan of the Miles Morales character, and if you are too, man, this book is definitely for you. When the reprint comes out, I definitely recommend picking it up. This has the origin, so Norman Osborn has spiders, genetically altered spiders in this laboratory, and one of them ends up getting into Miles's uncle Aaron, who is the Prowler, gets into his things and he brings it back to his apartment, and Miles ends up getting bit by spider number 42, and that's where he starts, getting his powers and whatnot. He shows Genki, his roommate, the powers, who Genki, you get introduced here, who he is absolutely obsessed with Legos for whatever reason. And, throughout this book, it kind of goes back and forth of, his father not really liking superheroes and him just kind of getting to know his powers and stuff and sharing the experiences with Genki. It's got the old school vibes where he just runs up into burning buildings and saves people with the new powers, and he just gets into battles with random people because he has the new powers. But in this, Spider-Man dies. He dies in the Ultimate Universe, and that is where Miles gets like a superhero kind of costume from like a Halloween store or something, and he goes around wearing it, and he's doing Spider-Man things, saving people and getting into fights with little weird villains like this kangaroo motherfucker here. As he goes around, to people kind of come up to him and they're just like, bro, it's kind of in bad taste that you have this Spider-Man suit on, Spider-Man's fucking dead, what are you doing? But they don't know that he is basically the new Spider-Man. And that's where Jessica Drew shows up, and she's like, bro, you can't be wearing this shit. She is actually a clone of Peter Parker, so she is the Spider-Woman. There's a lot of conflict with that. He ends up meeting up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury. It's just man, so much great stuff in this book, man. I don't want to get too crazily involved in it, but these runs have been out forever, and with Into the Spider-Verse, people really get the gist of, what Miles is. So he ends up getting a costume from S.H.I.E.L.D., a legit costume, which I absolutely love the costume design of Miles. The old Miles, I don't know, I'm not really feeling the new one that he's got on with the weird turtleneck and I don't know, that weird sweatsuit thing he's rocking these days. But this book it's great, man. It's a fast read. It seems imposing the size of the book at first, but man, it just flows so well. The writing between the family, everything that happens between them is just so good. And just the main issues in this book, his conflicts with his uncle, which that pretty much starts out right away. His uncle is trying to get him to basically do thievery type shit with him. You get the Omega Red there, which he looks absolutely terrible in this, but he's kind of he's blackmailing Miles kind of into helping him do these criminal activities, and that's where you kind of get into this whole thing with this Scorpion character here. He's like a kingpin down in Mexico, and he ends up, the Prowler, Miles's uncle Aaron, ends up trying to have him take out this dude and stuff like that. But it's a fantastic read. I love it. The artwork throughout this is absolutely incredible too. Sarah Pichelli is a fantastic artist. So that combined with Brian Michael Bendis' writing style is just great. Miles and Genki get another roommate, this kid Judge. It's kind of funny, like the whole time he's there, they're always trying to sneak out and do shit, but he knows that Miles is Spider-Man all along. And as things get more involved with his uncle, Miles realizes that he has to kind of stand up to his uncle and tell him no, he's not going to mess around with any of this thievery that his uncle the Prowler is getting into. So that always leads into a conflict between family. Miles and his uncle get into this battle, and he accidentally kills him, or maybe he kills himself. I mean, he does hit him with the Venom Blast, which kind of makes his thing malfunction and blow him up. So that's kind of like what happens, but I don't know. So he ends up dying, and then the whole world starts going to shit. There's this huge civil war going on with these Hydra people. Hydra plays a pretty good part in the end of this book too, which was pretty cool. The civil war is going on. Miles is helping the Ultimates, battle the Hydra people and whatnot. And even Miles' father gets into a battle with the Hydra people. He ends up saving some people and then going back to his house. Here's Captain America. He ends up becoming the president. So this whole story arc here is pretty interesting, and like I said, the artwork is just great too. So you get some great scenes of this civil war going on throughout this, which is pretty cool. Miles with his giant woman, and then you get this weird story, it's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I've heard people not really like this, but I kind of dug it, man. It's older Spider-Man in the 616 universe. Ends up getting into it with Mysterio. Mysterio ends up sending the older Spider-Man into Miles' universe, into the Ultimate Universe, and they meet up. And, that's pretty much the craziness ensues that you would expect. I mean, he sees, Aunt May and Mary Jane and Gwen and all them, which is pretty cool. And then, the Mysterio is giving them these crazy, like, dream horror visions that just kind of like fucking him up, and they're just basically just trying to figure out how to stop Mysterio and then send this Peter Parker from the 616 universe back to where he came, which is it's a pretty good little run here. I don't know, so, like I said, some people don't like it, but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like, the artwork is cool, the dream stuff is awesome. Gotta love some Mysterio. Some stuff here with a woman that seems to know the identity of Miles Morales, so she tries to sell it to J. Jonah Jameson, but he's not having it, and then she ends up actually getting killed by Venom. So Venom just tears her up here, and this is where it gets into more like the family drama stuff. So Venom is here. Venom battles with Miles. I think that's going to be the new DM variant cover there from Sarah Pichelli. So you get some Miles and Venom action throughout the book, which is pretty cool. In this little midsection here, which this whole battle with Venom ends up leading to, like I said, one of the most like important moments in Miles' life, where he finally defeats the Venom creature here. But in doing so, his mother ends up getting killed by a police officer. He ends up shooting her by accident, and then Miles' mother dies. She knew he was Spider-Man all along, and it's a super sad moment, man. So you're reading this, you're like, you get emotional through this shit. That's how good Brian Michael Bendis' writing is. So then it goes to 1 year later. Miles is kind of still not having it. He really doesn't want to do the Spider-Man thing anymore. And then you get some Cloak and Dagger stuff here, a little bit of background on their characters. You also get the Bombshell girl, which she's alright. I don't know, she's kind of whatever. But Taskmaster, this is like the part where they're like battling with this corporation, the Roxxon. Taskmaster was hired to take out like Miles Morales and all that. It's some good stuff, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. As I say, the artwork is just crazy good. It's Miles grows through this book, which is pretty cool to see. You don't generally see characters like that. The Cloak and Dagger stuff is great. Then you get this Cataclysm event with Galactus, which is awesome. There is some of this missing, so it kind of jumps around a little bit, which kind of sucks. But this event here with Galactus was pretty cool. I always love when Galactus pops up in some shit. And then Miles ends up telling his father that he is Spider-Man, and because Miles' dad really isn't into the whole superhero thing. He's kind of pissed, and he ends up just like bouncing on Miles for whatever reason, which is kind of like fucked up. You'd figure that like maybe since like his mother died and everything that they would kind of like stick together, but I don't know. There's a little section here with like Aunt May and Gwen and Mary Jane and all them like wondering like what would Spider-Man be doing if he were still alive in the Ultimate Universe. So this is a big book, man. It's a long read. There's a lot of shit going on in here. Trying to like remember all of it, but some stuff I'm like sort of forgetting a little bit. But I know Miles is like dating this girl or thinking about dating this girl that I don't remember her name, but it like ends up turning out Hydra is involved later on in the story, and this is also where you get some Green Goblin stuff. So this is where you get that wraparound cover comes up. Green Goblin looks badass, man. He looks so sick like this. I like the like genetically fucking enhanced Norman Osborn. I think it looks badass. Yeah, that picture right there. That's the wraparound cover. So sick, man. So he ends up getting into a battle like right in front of Peter Parker's house where Peter Parker died from battling the Green Goblin. You know, Miles has a couple new tricks up his sleeve. He's got like that Venom blast and all that. So it kind of like fucks him up. This is where you get to the last little story arc here of, you know, there's a little bit of backstory of Miles' father and his Uncle Aaron. It turned out that, you know, Miles' father was doing bad shit with his uncle back in the day, and he ended up, like, getting involved with Kingpin. So he was working for S.H.I.E.L.D., and he was kind of an undercover, like, trying to find out information about Kingpin and whatnot, which is kind of cool. So that's how, you know, it sets up him being involved with S.H.I.E.L.D., which, you know, you see later in Volume 2 that he's more involved with S.H.I.E.L.D., but, and then all this crazy Hydra stuff with his girlfriend happens here, and, you know, I won't get too involved with what's going on with all of that, but, you know, one of my favorite characters of all time rolls up, and that is Dr. Doom with the horse legs for whatever reason, man, the sick horse hoof Dr. Doom. So, like I said, I won't get into like the ending so much here. I don't want to spoil it for you, but you know, after all of this, it sets up Secret Wars where Miles Morales ends up saving the universe with a spoiled cheeseburger, as we all know. And you get all this bonus material in the back, a ton of variant covers. Gotta love the Miles Morales covers here. Ultimate Fallout 4. I got the second printing in a 9.8. This book is great, man. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend getting the reprint. I'm sure the binding will be top notch. It'll be thinner. So let me know what you think about this book down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.